Welcome to CareTalk, America's home for incisive debate on healthcare, business, and politics. I'm John Driscoll, the chairman of UConn Health and the co-host of CareTalk. And today we are delighted to welcome our longtime friend of the show, best-selling author, polemicist, policy expert, and now expert on ice cream, Dr. Zeke Emanuel. Zeke, welcome to the show. What drew you to, why'd you write the book?
Well, there are the very narrow question of how I came to write this book has to do really with anger at the wellness industrial complex and the fact that it's such a machine. You know, estimates are between $1 and $2 trillion in the United States is spent on wellness, which is a shockingly hard number. Even if you're very conservative, it's over $1 trillion.
But I'm also, Zeke, there are so many worried, wealthy people who want to be pampered. I mean, Why are you picking a fight with the worried wealthy?
No, I'm not picking a fight with the worried wealthy. I'm picking a fight with the people trying to sell them all sorts of crap, like supplements or special tests or special diets. Wellness is it's age old. So one of the things I like to point out is, you know, Aristotle and Hippocrates knew well the sort of core elements of wellness. Aristotle talks extensively about friendship and the importance of social relations in a good, virtuous life, but also in a healthy and happy life. And Hippocrates talks about sleep and exercise and food and eating well. So these aren't new. What is new is how much we actually understand about them and how we understand how they connect. I mean, one of the things that certainly is important in my view is so little attention in the books, you know, whether it's Outlive or what have you, focus on social relations. And yet they are the number one effector for healthy, happy, and long life, statistically. And as I like to say, it's not in the mind. This is actually physiologically.
I want to get you provoked about Dr. Peter Attia, but maybe we could dig a little deeper into Aristotle and your father for a moment. I think one of the most powerful things I've read of yours is your anecdote about your father. And maybe you could talk a little bit about what you learned from your father, the doctor and expert in social relations, and how that could kind of give us insights into how to live a happy and healthy life.
Yeah, my dad was an extrovert in the classic sense. He loved to talk to people. He was not a thinker in terms of, you know, what's true about the cosmos, what's true about, you know, human evolution, the Big Bang. He couldn't care about that. What he did like to care about is what are the people around him? What is motivating their lives? What's in their lives? What makes it go well and not so well? And he would, you know, very easily strike up conversations with people, ask them about what was happening in their life. And almost everyone was thrilled to talk to him, partially because he was very disarming. It was not an FBI interrogation. And, you know, that was, I think, something that really drove him. And, you know, as I've been out there,
it sounds like it drove you crazy as a young man.
Embarrassed me, you know, but that's how your parents embarrass every child, right? I mean, it's by nature, you think that, oh, God, they're doing something weird and, you know, I'm associated with it. But you learn a lot just by watching how people interact. And I will tell you, you know, he died about 6 years ago at 92. And the overwhelming turnout at his memorial service, patients, colleagues, people who worked at the hospital with him, and everyone more or less had the same thing. Like he was just a warm, funny, embracing person who was interested in them. And I think that's a very, very special quality. And, you know, I've come, as I've grown older and wiser, come to appreciate it in a way that as a young kid, it just sort of made me, you know, want to crawl under the carpet.
Well, I think you've got to have some Irish in you. My Irish grandmother would always count how many people, give an estimate of how many people showed up at the funeral and the wake as an estimate of a good life. But maybe you could also just I love the reflections on your dad and your mother, but maybe talk about like the sharpest criticism or the sharpest warning in your book is about loneliness. And maybe you could talk how dangerous is the epidemic of isolation and loneliness in the United States? Because according to the last Surgeon General, not the current one, I don't even know that they've got a doctor as Surgeon General actually anymore, is that we are suffering from an epidemic of loneliness, not just because of COVID, because of media, but how dangerous is being lonely to your health?
Oh, yeah. The statistics are overwhelming. If you look at the people who have 7 or 8 close friends, which is sort of the limit of close friends you can have, and the people who have, 1.5 or less close friends statistically, the mortality rate is about 25% more over the subsequent 8 years. And there are myriad studies, beginning with the Harvard Adult Development Study, the sort of longitudinal study that began in the 1930s, following Harvard grads, then their spouses and children. Studies in China, studies in Sweden, all come to the same conclusion, which is that people who have friends and have close friends and visit with them, talk with them, live a lot longer. And it's astonishingly high. And one of the things I point out in the book, first of all, having good close friends is good now. It's not like you got to wait for the benefit long into the future, like with exercise. It's good now, and it's good in the future. And the third benefit is it's good for the other person. It's not just selfishly good, it's good for me, but it's actually, there's an interaction here, and the other person is gaining benefit. So I think those are all really, really important. And I do think of Vivek Murthy's the Surgeon General under Biden's report on loneliness and social relations is going to go down as one of the landmark
incredibly
reports.
Powerful.
Yes. And, so there is this also statistic, which is brought out from BYU, Brigham Young University researchers, that being lonely is equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And as you point out, John, the trends are terrible. The trends are fewer close friends for most young people, more eating alone, whether at home or out in restaurants, less time spent with other people. And all of these are bad indicators. And one of the things I say is, look, we all need close friends. There, someone who you can reveal yourself to, who can support you through thick and thin. But the casual social interactions are also wildly important. I mean, literally just the other day, we were going out buying bagels, and I was just joking with the guy who was taking the order, and he was joking with me. He says,
"You're your father's son."
He says, "We're going to give you gold gilded bagels today in honor of the president." I was like, "Oh,
please stop me now." Is there anything just building on the family theme? Is there anything you learned from your brothers about healthcare or about healthy interactions?
Yes, I will tell you, this is something that happened like 25 years ago. My youngest brother, we got into an elevator. I forget where it was. There's probably some meeting and other people. And there was a couple of people standing there. And he walks right up to them, puts out his hand. He says, "Hi, I'm Ariel Emanuel. How are you?" And it was like, whoa. And, it was like incredibly powerful moment. And as I recount in the book, I had one as I was writing this book. One day I rode into my bicycle into work and got into the elevator. It was freezing out. It was like 0 degrees. And someone casually gets in and says, "Wow, that's pretty, pretty courageous of you to ride in the cold." And I said, "Yeah, and pretty stupid to ride without gloves." And she just casually says, "You'll never do that again," and gets off the elevator at her floor. And it was like, that just sort of, you're right. And that'll boost me for the rest of the day, that casual observation and little joke. So it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. And you think you learned social interaction from your brother, Ari?
I think I learned, don't be shy about it. Don't take yourself so seriously that, you think this is, your ego's on the line. Your ego's not on the line, and if you remember, other people like to talk too. It's just that they're also shy about starting a conversation. So if you're an initiator, again, it's good for you and good for them. And I think that is something kids today really don't understand, is how to initiate a conversation. And it doesn't have to be deep or profound.
I think your advice actually is, just initiate. It's not like, don't think about it, just kind of go for it. And I think what's interesting about your advice, Zeke, whether it's, and we'll get into ice cream because everybody wants to talk about that, is that you're very focused on health advice that's easy and a little bit self-reinforcing. So maybe you could go through your top 5 or 6 tips to what one is interaction and social interaction. I think that's incredibly powerful in the book. Ice cream, talk a little bit about how that comes up, and then we'll get into don't be a schmuck and some others.
Well, I don't know, October 23 or 22 or a few years ago, The Atlantic ran this piece about ice cream being good for you. And it was a pretty interesting piece. And some of the people who were quoted in it, I knew, and I called them up and they said, yeah, we've known about this in our epidemiological data, just haven't called a lot of attention to it. Some people would say they actively didn't call any attention or suppressed it. And then if you uncover what's behind it, well, ice cream is a dairy product. And dairy actually turns out to be good for you. Now, not everyone agrees with me about how good. And Walt Willett, one of my old professors from the Harvard School of Public Health, has a very good review of it in the New England Journal from about 4 or 5 years ago. And he's much more equivocal than I am, maybe even slightly negative. But look, dairy is shown to make people taller, which is why the Danes and the Dutch are much taller than Americans now. In addition, it's known to prevent diabetes, type 2 diabetes. It also is preventative against colorectal cancer. There's a lot of good things in dairy, and ice cream or gelato is dairy. And yes, it does have sugar in it, and therefore it's not good to eat all the time. But it is generally positive and favorable for people to eat. And I think that's one of the elements. And then if you look at the whole dairy category, that's another one where, yogurt is particularly good. It's the number one food for weight loss. It's fermented and so good for your microbiome, which is probably how it transmits the weight loss. Has a lot of protein in it, as well as calcium and other nutrients. Kefir, similarly good for the microbiome. And so I think, again, once you unpack this, there's a lot of good things in dairy. And I think, it's something we should be eating more of.
Well, I love that because I grew up in a family of tall ice cream eating, the Driscolls. So we appreciate that as an endorsement of our family activity. But a couple of other things in the book. I mean, you encourage exercise, but you're not focused on zone 2, VO2 max, health monitoring, throwing all kinds of devices. You're just saying walk, move. I mean, you're pretty clear that America's sitting on its butt.
Right. Well, it's not me. It's just the data are overwhelming that the vast, 3/4 of Americans don't get enough exercise. And a lot of people, their downtime, even though they have jobs that make them sit at desks, their downtime is more sitting on video games or scrolling or whatever, rather than getting up. So the biggest health benefits are from going horizontal to any exercise and getting that heart rate up to a moderate level. Then there are people who are, regular exercisers and they do well. One of the things that I think is really important in the book is to point out the problems of too much exercise, which we don't speak enough of. There's a plateau to how much benefit you're going to get from exercise. And the more you do after you hit that plateau, actually, the more at risk you are for injuries, which is not a good thing. And you're wasting time on exercise that's not going to benefit you, which could be better spent doing other things like social interaction.
I find it deeply ironic that my cycle crazy friend Zeke is advising people not to exercise too much. How do you define what's that line, Zeke? Because I think of you as a pretty intense cyclist.
There is a line. It's about 300 minutes of vigorous exercise per week, which translates to 5 hours. I don't go anywhere near 5 hours unless I'm doing a century or I'm doing 2 days of intense bicycling. So that's what it is. When I go out riding 30, 40 miles, it's typically a 2 hour ride. Well, 2.5 hour ride if it's 40 miles. And the important thing there is, yeah, that's probably going to be most of my week's exercise in that ride. And so I think it's important to not go overboard, but it's important for the people who are horizontal just to begin to do something. And I said, the easiest thing to do is go out for a walk 1 to 2 miles and bring someone else with you and make it a habit to do it 3 or 4 times a week, and make it a social event. And that is, you're going to encourage the other person. They're going to encourage you. You're going to get good exercise, aerobic exercise. You probably won't get any muscle strengthening, but that's the place to begin. And then you can increase it. You can go jogging. You can go running. You can do swimming. Someone was just writing me and talking about the pleasures of tennis. You play against someone else, and then you finish the games, and you go off and you have a beer or have a coffee together.
I want to dig a little bit into this Peter Attia guy, because he certainly was super popular. In fact, Nora O'Donnell kept trying to force his advice on you the other day on CBS Sunday Morning. She was quite entranced with him. What do you think the dangers of the Peter Attia? I was going to throw him in from he to Aubrey de Grey. Let's live to 150. Brian Johnson, please buy my supplements and sign me up for $100,000 to $200,000 a year of advice on, I guess, God knows what. But there's no question that there's a substantial elite longevity community with Peter Attia and Brian Johnson's picked the two most popular. What's wrong with their advice, and how dangerous is it?
I would say that there are 3 or 4 things wrong. The first and most important thing that's wrong with it is it makes wellness and living a long time your obsession, and focusing on it. That is not life. Wellness is about a lifestyle. It's not about the goal of life. And Peter Attia in particular says, the only thing we should care about is to outlive. And I'm like, that line more than anything just, ticked me off in his book. That is wrong. There are many bigger goals in life, bigger values you should aspire to. So it's this obsession, making it the focus of everything you think about, recording every movement you make, recording every dietary consumption, all your supplement. That is wrong. You've got other things to worry about. And when I asked one of them, Brian Johnson, about, why live a long time? He actually was silent. I would say
That's
other
not a good answer.
2 things. That's right. The other 2 things I would say is they tend to complicate wellness. So, they have all these little tweaks to your exercise routine or tweaks to the supplement you take. Wrong. You're going to do these activities for decades. You should not be worrying about little tweaks. They won't make a difference. They won't give you 5 days, much less 5 years additional. You should get a good, healthy routine that you can stick with. That's the most important thing. Sticking with it over decades. And as I like to say,
Zeke, it's almost Atomic Health Habits by Dr. Zeke Emanuel. I mean, if you think about James Clear, how habits, you form habits, then habits form you. It's an incredibly powerful through line in your book, for at least for me.
Yes, I agree. Just, you have to get these habits. And again, here we are at the start of the year. How do you get habits? You commit to doing something. Don't commit to doing everything. Commit to one thing. Okay. And write down when you're going to start. January 16th, that's the day I start. At 4:30, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to cook my first meal at home, or whatever it is. Then you initiate. And I think most people certainly people who are getting the book, are already motivated and committed to initiating. And then the issue is repetition. You have to do it 3 or 4 times a week for about 6 weeks. And then you've built your day around it, and you can continue to do it for the long haul. That is the sequence that we need. And I think, that we can't constantly willing ourselves to do more and more. Willpower easily fatigues. We have a lot of data and a lot of research on it.
Yeah, I mean, everything about initial. I want to pivot a little bit to Ben Franklin. He was a surprise late inning guest in your book. Like, what can we learn from Ben Franklin about how to live a long and in healthy life. I thought that was a really, I mean, what can Ben Franklin teach us today in this century about how to live a better life?
First of all, early on in Ben Franklin's life, if his autobiography is to be believed, he was incredibly strong. He believed in wellness. He, for example, was a vegetarian. He did not drink alcohol. He swam. He was one of the original swimmers, and everyone in London, when he swam the Thames, very frequently wanted him to teach their kids how to swim. He actually invented swim fins for the hands to go faster. So here are the things that Ben Franklin can teach us. First is try to get a good life. He also listed out 13 virtues and evaluated how well he did. So, this sort of self-improvement, make it a habit. Don't do each of the virtues, don't do all 13 virtues at once, do one at a time. But he's told us three important things. One is stay curious. Keep mentally sharp, stay engaged with the world. Try to think through things in the world and understand whether it's people or events or electricity in his case. Second, he was all about moral growth, about growing, about constantly improving yourself. Don't rest. Try to figure out what you're not doing right and improve yourself. And his writings are filled with, I used to think this, and then I watched, and now I've changed my mind. His speech to the Constitutional Convention, last great speech he wrote in the end of the Constitutional Convention, he begins by saying, the older I get, the more I listen to other people. They've got a lot of wisdom, and I know that I've changed my view by listening to other people and growing. So it's be curious, grow. And the last one, he said, is commit your life to being useful. How are you making the world, your community, your city, your family, and the larger country better? And think about that. So, the thing about Peter Attia is he's thinking only about yourself and making yourself, outlive. But Franklin is just the opposite.
That's the dirty little secret about the worried wealthy wellness community. Is it's a form of weird
narcissism,
narcissistic.
Yes. And part of what we know about wellness and health and longevity is the more you engage with other people, with your community, the more you try to improve it. That's the meaning of life goes up and your longevity goes up with it. And so that's the thing. Being oriented towards others rather than oriented towards yourself is the key to wellness.
Zeke, you as always are a wonderful, wonderful guest. I think of, E.M. Forster's, only connect, but to lead with connection and purpose, to start with taking down Peter Attia and end with lifting up Benjamin Franklin. Thank you for joining CareTalk.
Thank you, John. This has been terrific.
And if you liked what you heard or you didn't, we'd love you to subscribe on your favorite service. Thanks, Zeke.